So you're starting or scaling a home service business, whether that be roofing, pressure washing, landscaping, lawn care, whatever it may be. This video is part 1 of 5 where I explain every single bottleneck that you're going to be facing, every mindset shift you're going to need to take, and every skill you're going to need to learn. This is all of the information that I personally learned, as well as all of my clients, from starting out to making around $1 million a month. I've scaled over 100 different companies to $10,000 a month. Around 20 of those are at 50 to 100,000 a month, and 5 of those are at $500,000 to $1 million in monthly recurring revenue. I'm going to try to go into details in these videos, but I'll be making short spin-offs off of every single headline that I'm talking about in this series, where I actually go into the psychology and back end of why I made the decisions that I made, so that if we're not actually explaining a problem that you are dealing with at the moment, or it's just a similar problem, it's not the exact thing, you can look at the back end, understand how to think and approach the problem in of itself, and then actually solve it yourself. So this video can be split into 3 main parts. It's the foundation of you as a person, with your mindset, your mentality, how you approach problems, etc. Building the foundation of your company specifically, as well as how to actually get your first few customers, whether that be from door-to-door sales if you have no money whatsoever, and also Facebook ads if you have a few $100s that you're willing to risk into it. So talking about the foundation of you as a person, honestly, this video is a complete re-record. The first time I recorded it, I realized I'm talking for like 30 minutes just about your mentality as a business owner and how you should approach problems and whatnot. So I'm gonna scratch all of that. I'm recording another video, posting that in a few days. In this stage of company, when you first started out, the mindset that you should have as a business owner is pure hustle and delusional confidence. You need to put a crazy amount of work, a crazy amount of effort on a very long amount of period of time without getting any results whatsoever. And only when you deserve an output from the company is when you're actually going to reap the benefits. So step number 1, before you do anything else with my company, it's actually sitting down and locking down how you're going to be different. Whether that be with the actual services you're going to be providing, whether that be with the speed that you're going to do it, with the equipment that you're going to be doing it. This is going to come really, really handy when you're actually advertising. The way that I push advertising is never a % off or a dollar amount off. It's always an offer of your business being completely different than everybody else. For example, when we first started, our unique selling point was a subscription to a beautiful home. The idea behind it is homeowners need to work with multiple different companies in order to get their lawn care, their pressure washing, their holiday lighting, their roof cleaning, their pool cleaning. All of those are different companies. So why can't we come in and provide all of the maintenance services in one package, and they pay us a subscription? We show up every week or every 2 weeks to their home, and it actually worked really, really well. So now that you have the exact services that you're going to be providing locked down, you have your radius, you have the time frames that you're going to be providing those, you have the equipment that you're going to need and buy, you have the types of customers that you want to sell to, all locked down. Now we can start focusing on how the brand looks and whatnot. So we're starting off with the most important thing, which is company colors. These go absolutely everywhere, and just to give you a quick sneak peek of how important they are, think of Subway. You think of the little S with the 2 arrows, as well as yellow and green. Now think of this company right here. I didn't even put a logo there. These 2 colors alone probably made you feel calm or energetic. You probably smell coffee right now if you go to Starbucks enough. By the way, ChatGPT can explain something called color theory. What color theory is every single color invokes an emotion, and you can use those colors basically to kickstart your brand up until you've done enough marketing and advertising to actually create unique emotions specific to whatever direction you're trying to take your company to. So the way that we create our company colors is a 5 color palette where we have 2 dark colors, a bright color, and 2 faint colors. One of the dark colors as well as the bright color are what we use in the form of little circles or stripes in literally all of our marketing. Here's a few examples as well as the company name and direction. Notice how when you look at the colors, it kind of invokes that emotion of whatever service we're providing. Now that you have your company colors, what about your company name? If you've already created it, just skip this part. It really doesn't matter that much. Your company name, your logo, your slogan really don't matter, and you're probably going to do a rebrand within the next few months or years regardless. But if you don't already have a company name, there's 3 main types of company names out there. There's a family name. I have nothing against it. You're going to be seen as a small company regardless of how big you get. It's going to create a lot more trust with your potential clients just because it's that personalized, family-friendly feel. The second is an adjective connected with whatever service you're providing. You're basically piggybacking off of whatever that adjective is describing, which means you're also limiting yourself later on to how you can invoke emotions in people's minds. Like if you want to scale to 20, 30 grand a month, then by all means, any company name is fine. If you want to go into the millions or tens of millions, that's when you're going to need to start focusing on creating an actual emotion that's connected to your brand specifically, rather than piggybacking off of something else like a family name or an adjective. Now, the third name type, which is what I personally like the most, is a word or phrase that doesn't exist out there. One of the first companies that I co-founded was called youll. This doesn't mean anything, but it already invokes an emotion of nature as well as the bright sun. Names like that, you basically have full freedom to what you can tell people to trust you with. At the end of the day, this entire branding thing is you creating a persona around your business so that people could trust you to do a certain thing a certain way. Now, as for your logo and slogan, I'm actually not going to go into any detail here whatsoever because it is basically useless. If you have a slogan, amazing. If you have a logo, great. If you just have your company name in a pretty font, it literally is useless right now. Now, if you have a little bit of money, obviously buy some apparel, so shirts, your business cards, your yard signs. How we do our yard signs, and I'm going to make another short about this because I actually need to explain this a little bit more in detail. There's 3 types of yard signs out there right now. There's the basic 1 foot by 1.5 foot yard sign that has a big phone number on it, and it's for a specific service. I hate those. I genuinely hate those. You see them everywhere. People have learned to oversee them completely or get literally annoyed by them. So what we did is we created 2 types of yard signs. The first is a massive 3 foot by 4 foot yard sign that you put in front of homes that you're providing a service currently. You have a little joke on that yard sign. It's a really, really big sign. People who are walking by can see it. They can call your number. They can scan a QR code. You have a little joke there just to catch their attention. And then you take it away once you're done with the project. And you just put those on the roadside or in the actual lawn where the sidewalk is, where people are walking. They're seeing the yard sign, they're seeing the truck, you're probably out working in the back, and they just scan it in order to schedule with you or text you right away. And the second, more permanent yard sign is a small ADT style yard sign. You're never annoyed by seeing ADT or the Vivid signs in front of homes. We created the same idea with a very minimalistic, pure, basic logo of whatever our company is. We put them where the driveway meets the road, and we just leave them forever. This is on all of our subscription clients. Marketing in this stage of your company is either of 2 ways. You either have a few $100, I want to say $300 to $500 to test Facebook ads, and I'll explain how to do those in a few minutes, or only door knocking. If you don't have any money, then you need to suck it up and go hit a few doors. Don't try to optimize the script. What I did when I first started and what I tell everybody else that is just starting out, literally just go and knock on 300 to 500 different houses. Your script should be, hey, I'm providing pressure washing or I'm providing lawn care in this neighborhood. I was wondering if you're interested. We like to have business cards on hand, but if you don't have any money, like when I got my first paying customer, that is just what you need to do. And also, regardless if you have money to run paid ads or if you want to do the business card method, I still highly recommend you to do door knocking. It is the fastest way to learn face-to-face sales, and sales is the basis of any successful company out there. So you as a person need to get good at sales eventually anyways, might as well start it now. With that said, if you have like 30, 40, 50 bucks, Vistaprint sells business cards. And the way we structure these, I already made a video going to the psychology. I'm going to link that below. It's advertising a very specific service. So if you're doing pressure washing, it's like driveway pressure washing today. This is your exact quote, or gutter cleaning. And then you have a little space where you can physically write down the price for that specific service, and then a QR code that takes customers to the actual booking link for that service. And then we have our phone number with a call to action to text us. And then obviously the 2 little stripes at the bottom, because you are going to be hitting those neighborhoods multiple times. And I'm going to be explaining that in the next video, but we always hit a neighborhood like every 3 to 4 months, and our conversion rates literally just increase every single time. So you finally got your first few customers and you have some money, or you have a few $100 to spend into advertising. How do you do it? I'm not going to go into any of the details of the actual setup of the Facebook and whatnot. There's more than enough videos out there, but long story short, you need to have a Facebook Meta Business Suite set up. You need to have a Facebook page that you've posted 3 times a day for 7 days at least at a minimum. And then after that, every other day for as long as your company exists. And then you need to have an ads manager. And it's called Ads Manager. Search up Facebook Ads Manager. It's connected under your Meta Business Suite. Think of Meta Business Suite as a folder. Under you have your Facebook business page, you have your Instagram business account, you have your Ads Managers, because you can create more than one later on. That's how the setup looks like. Do not boost posts no matter what. So the difference between boosting posts and actual running ads, boosted posts show that specific post to more people. That's it. Actual ads, they not only train an algorithm that is already pre-trained on your business, which is why you posted those 3 times a day for 7 days, because you want to train the algorithm to understand what your business is all about before you start running ads, just so that when you start running ads, you're not spending too much money in the beginning. You're just basically training the algorithm. The cool thing about Ads Manager is the more you advertise, the more you spend money, the cheaper your cost per lead becomes. And the better the algorithm is at showing your ads to your specific target audiences, specifically the ones that are going to be clicking on it and actually going through and paying for your service. So we always like to do lead ads that are taking customers to instant forms. You're going to see that once you create your first ad campaign. But as for the actual ad creative, which is the photo or the video, so there's 3 main headlines that you want to maximize here. Number 1, the value of whatever you're trying to sell. Number 2, the story of whatever creative you're creating. So if it's a photo, having an entire story being seen in that photo or video and whatnot. And the third is you're taking people through an entire problem, and then acknowledging that problem, and then the solution to that problem, and then selling that solution to your target audience. So before and after ads, they work great because you see the before, you see the problem, and then you see a solution. Now what they lack is a journey. It's simply, this is where it was, this is where it's at. Having a video where you're taking people through a problem that one of your customers has, and this, by the way, is the most successful ad type that we're seeing right now, and it's taking people through a journey of a problem that one of your customers had, and then the process of figuring out what the problem is, and then actually finding the solution, which is showing the back end of what you guys are doing. And here's an example of a customer journey. You show a photo or video of a driveway that's super dirty. You're like, hey, this is what a dirty driveway looks like. This is what's causing that driveway to be dirty, whether that be mold or algae or moss, and then what the solution is and why your solution is better than everybody else, because you don't use only pressure, you also use a chemical to actually kill all of the living organisms at their roots instead of blasting away the actual algae and then just leaving the roots to grow back within the next few months. And then there's a call to action at the end. As for the call to action or the value that you're providing in your ads, we follow a very simple strategy, and this is scripted before we even create the ad in the first place. It's the value equation that Alex Hormozi created, which is a dream outcome plus the likelihood of achieving that outcome divided by the time it takes in order to achieve that result, plus the sacrifice that the customer has to take in order to achieve that result. So for a driveway pressure washing example, we want to guarantee that their driveway is going to look brand new within the next 24 or 48 hours, however long you actually need in order to go out and actually complete that service, plus they need to do nothing. So how that offer is going to look like, where we're trying to maximize the top and decrease the bottom as much as possible, is get your driveway looking brand new within the next 48 hours without lifting a finger. That offer, or a variation of that offer, works absolutely phenomenal, and then you just base your entire ad to revolve around that value proposition. So now that you're telling a story in your ad, whether that be a before and after, or an actual video showing people befores and afters, or an actual completing the service and how you guys did it and what tools you're using and all of that stuff, all while including a value proposition in the actual creative as well as in the copy. What the copy is, it's the primary text in your Facebook ads. You basically just want to look over those ads and check 3 main boxes. Does this ad educate people? And education doesn't mean you're teaching them something new. It could be you teaching them how you do business, or you teaching them why you're different, or why your equipment or your tools are better than everybody else, or why this specific method of doing this project is better than every other method. Does this engage people? Is it faster paced than normal? Are there captions involved? Does it look nice? And finally, does it entertain? Entertaining doesn't always mean funny. It can also mean ASMR, or showing people something really, really nice, or having a really well-made script where you take people through a very clear process where they don't need to think really hard to understand what you're trying to say. Now, obviously, even if you do all of this stuff, the ads may still flop. Every single winning ad follows a structure, but not every ad that follows a structure is a winning ad, and there's always things that you can improve on and learn on. And I'm going to show you in the next part of the series how to actually look back at ads and optimize them. But as of right now, it's simply just volume and getting something out and pushing your best work, and then eventually you're going to learn off of it regardless of how perfect you think you posted your first post. And by the way, if you didn't learn anything from this video, it is simply to act without thinking. You probably already know what you need to do, just do it. Your first 0 to 1K is simply just doing the things that you already know what to do. You already probably knew almost everything that I just talked about in this video. I may have talked about a few things that are not in this industry as a whole, but you probably knew to go out there and door knock. You probably knew to buy some business cards or door hangers, and that would have gotten you out of this 0 to 1K phase. Now the 1 to 7K is where things actually get messy. You actually need to perfect things. You actually need to optimize, and having a foundation built right now is going to put you ahead of almost your entire competition. With that said, I'm going to link a Google Doc of all of the headlines that I just talked about in this video, as well as a link to all of the shorts that I actually go into detail about the psychology of what I do. But obviously, if you have any questions, go ahead and comment them. I'm going to answer everything, as well as create shorts about the things that I believe other people should also learn from. And yeah, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video where I talk about how to take a company from $1,000 a month to $7,000 a month. And yeah.